Hi guys, it's Kenzie and this is my second week of cosmetology school at Paul Mitchell School of Cleveland. Here's the results of the curl rods that we put in last week. They came out pretty cute and I was so in love with them. So we didn't have school Monday, so it's Tuesday and it was announced that we got our cosmetology kits. I will do a separate video on everything that was included in that. We were taken into the other classroom where our kids were waiting. So we opened that and we went through everything, did like a little bit of a checklist to make sure everything was included in our kits. Once we were done going over our kits, we went to go wash our mannequin heads and bring them back, and we were going to learn how to blow dry the hair. I did struggle blow drying the hair because I'm used to using a brush blow dry, when the brush is already connected to it, and I didn't have to do much work when I used that. So this felt like a lot of work because we had to use the brush in the other hand and hold the blow dryer. A certain way that we blow drying, we needed to keep the ends wet because we were only blow drying the roots, and we started at the nape and it worked our way up towards the front of the head. This process did take quite a while, and we did have to keep taking a lot of breaks so we could learn different methods and make sure everybody was doing everything correctly. We continued on wetting the mannequin head and blow drying it multiple times throughout the day so we could learn multiple different techniques for it. And this is pretty much all we did today. It was pretty nice. It was like an easy, smooth day. People were getting rewards for doing things the correct way. I did not get a reward because I was like literally struggling so bad. But I kept going. We were actually told to try out all the brushes to see what works better for us, but I actually did forget about that being told to us, so I just continued on using the big paddle brush throughout this video. So at this point, the ends of the hair is supposed to still be wet, but like I said, I was so terrible at it and it was so hard to keep the hair wet, especially with all the breaks we were taking in between. So this is how it was looking. So what we're doing here is supposed to be going back and blow drying the ends and also learning how to wrap the hair around. We're supposed to be wrapping it around as if it was a scarf kind of, but obviously not going all the way around to choke the client that we would have. So the goal here was to get the hair as smooth as possible without any flyaways, but it was very hard to accomplish that because we have not cut our mannequin's hair yet. So there was a lot of flyaways, different lengths of hair, and it was just very hard to do. Some other students were able to achieve getting the hair smooth, which I was so in awe of. I was like, how did you guys do that? Because I struggled so bad. And this is me using the other brush after it was mentioned again, try out all the brushes, and this one worked way better for me. I wish I used it from the start, but like I said, I did forget about that being told to us. So right here, I'm just going in a bit more with the blow dryer to try to make sure it's getting smooth and it's not too many flyaways. But like I said, it was so frizzy and it was so hard to accomplish. So that wraps up day 1, and here's day 2. So we were told to bring out our coily curly mannequin head and part it into 4 sections, as you can see I'm doing here now. We were given 2 different products to try out, one with a matte finish and another with a wet look finish. So I believe I'm using the wet look finish in this section of the hair, and we're doing bantu knots. We were told we could do any parting pattern we wanted, so I decided to do triangles, and here is me doing the bantu knots now. I've actually never done bantu knots before, but I was very surprised at how easy it was for me. I felt like I didn't even have to watch our instructor do it. I just knew how to do it. I don't know how. That was so weird, but I easily did it. I did make the row on the top bigger than the row on the bottom because I just wanted to see how it would look if it was in a bigger size or a smaller size. And I like the smaller size way better. I just feel like the curls were more defined. Here's a close-up of the bantu knots. As you can see, the top row is bigger and the smaller row is smaller. I now have the product that makes the hair look more matte, I believe, on this bottom section. So in this section, we're going to be doing rollers. We were shown how to do it, and now we're going to do it ourselves. My back was to the camera a lot, so I didn't show too much of this process, but hopefully you guys could see a couple clips or like a little sneak peeks of it. Sorry for the view of my back this whole time, but here's a close-up of it. I feel like I did a pretty good job. I did accidentally leave a strand out, but here it is. I think it's pretty cute. I decided to use the product that gives you a wet look for this back section, and we're doing finger coils or comb coils. I did use a comb throughout this whole section. For this section, we're doing 2-strand twists, and we're using rollers at the end of them to make them curly. So this was pretty simple and easy. All we did was twist the right strand up really well, and then, twisted it over the left strand and did the same thing and kept going back and forth. It was super easy, and putting the rods in were super easy as well. So here's a close-up of everything I did on the left side, the comb twist and the 2-strand twist. We then added the diffuser onto our blow dryer, and we used the comb to lift all of the curls into the diffuser and blow dry it on a low heat, and we did this with most of our sections. Next, we were told to bring out our mannequins with the long hair and part them into 4 sections. We also had our marcels plugged up and turned on, preheating, so we could get ready to curl some hair. So on this first section, we're doing barrel curls. I did have a hard time doing this because I've just never used a marcel curling iron before. It did get easier as we continued on styling the hair. In this back section, we were doing spiral curls, so we hold the curling iron going vertical and curl that way. I did struggle with this, but I got it done and ended up enjoying the outcome. I was very nervous that I was going to end up burning myself, which I'm so glad that I didn't, because at home I always burn myself curling my hair. In this section here, we were doing locks, which was so unbelievable to me. It just didn't, it looks like locks. It's just not the way that I'm used to seeing. We were told that people usually would do this and then cross hatch the hair to make it an actual lock and lock it up all the way. But this was like really weird to me. And finally, our last section. In this section here, we did waves, which would typically be done with a flat iron. I struggled so much with this. I did not get one wave that was properly done at all. Here's everything up close. I really love the barrel curls and the spiral curls the most. They were my favorite. I did not get every section done, so this is why you still see some hair just laying there. And here's the terrible waves. They just look so bad. It is now day 3, and we are taking out all of our coils, our twists, and our rollers. We put some oil on our heads before we got started so everything will come out nice and easy and it won't be frizzy. Here's a close-up of the Bantu knots taken out. I definitely like the smaller ones better than the larger ones. And here's a close-up of everything. I definitely like the rod set and the comb coils that I did. Ignore the hair that was sticking up on the left. That's just hair I never got to. Once we were done, we set our mannequins aside and started taking notes on doing a perm. And we had to make a rap song out of the steps to doing a perm. So here's my group's rap song.
It's fine, guys. It's just for fun. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I'm not even in the video. Here, come in. I'll get down with you.
So that was our rap video. It was like pretty silly. We won first place, which was nice. And now we're parting our mannequin's hair into 9 sections to prepare for the perm set. We continued doing this for the rest of the day over and over so we could get it done in a time span of 4 minutes. And it took everybody a couple of tries to get it right. And I finally got it right on the very last try. So here's the last day of this week. We're now doing the perm rods. So basically what we're doing is we're using the end papers, I believe they were called, and we're putting them on the ends of the hair, and then we're rolling it up. It did take me a couple of tries to get it right, and I think I'm a lot better at doing it now. So this day was very, very hard. I dropped things so many times, but I kept going, I kept trying, and it turned out decently. After our first break of the day, the team that does social media came in and taught us how to set up a profile. Here's my Instagram account. You guys should definitely follow it. We created our Instagram, so we all followed each other in the class, and we also started working on a Canva Me profile, which mine is not complete yet, but soon it will be, and that'll be linked to my YouTube channel. So for the rest of the day, we continued doing our perm rods. We took them out, we put them back in, and we did it over and over until we got the hang of it, which I was really glad for because I needed the practice. So that's a wrap on week 2, and please come back to watch week 3.